How are you doing? Tell me.
I'm doing as good as I can, I guess. It's really boring in the Corona days. As you know, we've been trying to come to Switzerland to play for a while.
Yeah, you know what? Today would be the date.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it, but yes.
Yeah, me neither. A friend of mine came here for lunch, and then we talked about it, and then he told me, "Oh, that would have been today." And yeah, shitty
So we're
situation.
celebrating with an interview instead.
Yeah, at least we do something better than doing nothing. Yeah, should we talk about the story how we met? I mean, you wanna tell the story about your trying to do a short tour in the beginning of this
March.
year?
Oh, yeah. So yeah, we came home from the States in the end of February, and then the Corona had just kind of started in Italy. And it was like talks about it in the rest of Europe, which was actually a bit funny because our sound engineer was from Milan. So we were making jokes to him like, "Are you going back to the Corona place?" And then, of course, it didn't take long until the Corona was everywhere. Was it the second weekend of March, I think?
Yeah, I think
We
13th
were supposed
March.
to play then Copenhagen and then Winterthur. And then we were supposed to go to Sofia in Bulgaria and also Bucharest in Romania. So I think maybe like Tuesday that week, Romania canceled. But we still thought we could do the 3 other shows because then it was, I think 1,000 was the limit then for gatherings of people. So I went to Örebro. I live in Stockholm, but I went to Örebro where we had the studios so we could rehearse and pack some the stuff and everything on the Wednesday. And then in the evening on Wednesday, like 10 o'clock in the evening, the promoter from the show on Thursday in Copenhagen calls me. It's like, we had to cancel tomorrow. They just changed the rules. It's like, oh, what the fuck? And then we were sitting there. It's like, no, I mean, we have our plane ticket booked anyway from Copenhagen. So let's go there tomorrow and stay at the hotel. We cannot get any money back anyway. We went to Copenhagen in Corona lockdown. And we went to a hotel where like no one else were there except us, I think, because people just were afraid.
And wasn't there a kind of a snowstorm also something in Copenhagen?
Yeah, there was a snowstorm on the way to Copenhagen. And I think that was the only time there was snow the whole winter, actually. Because, no, but at least the only time it was snow that I remember this year, so to speak. It might have been snow in like December, but it was weird. So then in Copenhagen, we go to the airport, which is kind of empty. And we get on the plane, and it's just the band on the big plane, maybe 2 other guests on the plane, and 7 people working on the plane or something like that. And this is a plane for 300 people. So it was a private jumbo jet to Zurich. And there at the airport, it was like walking in a zombie movie because no one was around. Yeah. Anyways, we come to your venue, Gaswerk, and you were telling us like, yeah, it should be fine. I mean, it's 1,000 now, but let's just wait to put the gear up in case something happens because it's going to be like a press conference in about an hour. So yeah, we sit down and have a beer, and then of course this press conference is making us cancel this show as well. And yeah, I forgot to say that on the way to Switzerland, on the airport in Copenhagen, the promoter from Bulgaria called me and it's like, we have to cancel the show tomorrow. So we ended up buying new tickets home. So we just went to Zurich and back to Stockholm again without doing anything.
I mean, at least you could jam a little bit at our venue with the support band.
Yeah, I got to play some drums. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember the first time we spoke was, I think, in that morning, and the first sentence you told me was, "Are you afraid that the show's gonna be cancelled?" Oh shit, man! And then we tried to fix it again for today. We tried to do the show today, and then we had to cancel again. I think it was two months ago. We decided that it makes no sense.
Yeah. And I guess we were right, because now it's worse again, like in a long time.
How is it
now
in
Sweden even closed bars and stuff after 10, and we didn't even do that in spring.
Oh shit. Okay. But how is the situation? Are only bars closed? Everybody goes to work or works from home, but everything's still open, or also shops closed?
Yeah, I mean, everything is open, but people are advised to work from home if they can, and not hang out with people they don't need to hang out with. Like, stick to your family as much as you can.
Yeah, do not have too many other contacts or contact with other people. Yeah. So yeah, today is also another big day. Let's switch to the good news. You told me that you were busy today. So your new band, I mean, the show was for Truckfighters, and we're talking today about your new project, or let's say your new band, Enigma Experience.
Yes.
So there is the album release is today, and you shipped.
And I should have something to show you. But,
I had something in the mail today.
Oh, timing.
Yeah, it was today after, like 2 or 3 hours ago. I discovered that there was something in the mailbox. So yeah, I got the black one. I think I got the black one. I also saw that it's a signed one. I think you could choose, huh?
Yeah.
Which one?
Very nice.
Okay, so but the singer did not.
No, he's in Norway. He's quarantined. He cannot go to Sweden and sign them.
Oh shit! Okay. Oh, that's
we had to just the two. Sorry.
No,
it's the same for everyone.
It's no problem. Yeah, I got the black one because the thing is, if I have to do a radio show, I normally use what I have. I use from my vinyl collection, and it's shitty if you see through the discs, then you don't see the markers of the tracks, Yeah. So then I'm already confused about all the switches you see in the background, and then I have also that's also nice, and then I have to worry when the track is over and I don't see it. So that's better. That's why I use the black vinyl for the radio. Shirts.
Should have got this too.
No, I should have ordered some, but I thought I have to buy something when you come here to play.
Live.
So
sure.
Otherwise I cannot buy anything then at the show.
That's good.
Yeah, let's talk about the album. Are you happy with how everything turned out in the end with the recording?
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time because I didn't know what to do with the singing part. But apart from that, I'm very happy. I'm just going to show the people the limited edition vinyl thing. So it looks the same on the front, but not inside.
Ooh.
And this is actually just one out of two. Because the vinyl is, as you're going to see soon, the vinyl is printed. So that means that it's only audio on one side.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And then we have another fold that you can just use for the nice art if you want.
Yeah, cool.
And this is the first vinyl with another print on it, as you can see. It's Enigma Experience.
And on this one, okay, yeah, that's really nice. It's looking great.
And this is like mirror image. The loads. So no matter which side you look from, one is going to be correct for your eyes.
Cool. Now I'm rethinking my decision if I ordered the right one, but I'm sure it's easier to see the tracks for. But yeah, normally the really
I can put one aside and bring it when we play.
Yeah, you have to. So we will try to fix a date so that you can come to Gaswerk here in Switzerland next year. I think we talked about some dates, but let's see how Corona will evolve.
Yeah.
But for sure, we will have you here on the venue as soon as possible. Yeah, let's talk about the record. how did everything evolve? How did you start this project? Was it in the Corona crisis, or did you start earlier last year, some
2.5 years ago? In December or 2017 or January 2018, something like that. Because then we had a break. We started a break with Truckfighters, the hiatuses, which we had planned for like 9 months maybe. And it was mostly Mr. Ozo who wanted to have this break. And I felt like doing new music during these 9 months. And he was like, no, we're going to have the break. I don't want to do anything. So then when we actually took the break, then I kind of freed my mind from Truckfighters, I guess. And I just decided to fuck it and write whatever came out of my head, you know. And I already had talked a bit to Peso if he would like to just do something anyway. So that was the starting point. And then I had this like creative little frenzy, I would say. So I wrote all the music. I mean, not like solos and stuff like that, but I wrote all the basic stuff for the record in 3 months. And then we started to record in the spring of 2018. So almost everything was recorded in the first half of 2018.
Wow.
But then I didn't know what to do because I had a good friend of mine who was supposed to sing. And he bailed on me. He said like, no, this is not my thing. It's too much metal for me. So then I was like, what the fuck should I do now then?
So have you already recorded it with his, so his voice parts were already recorded, or was it before? Okay.
No, it was when he was trying to come up with things to sing, and he was like, no, I don't know how to handle this music. I cannot do this.
Okay. Shit.
So then I was like stuck in a little limbo there because I was so set on only working with people I really like to hang out with, you know. And then, should I ask someone I don't know who's just a good singer, or who would that be? And it's like, so then I just mentally went into a wall and didn't do anything for a long time.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, I did finish the details of the music, and I recorded all the solos, but you know, solos and additional stuff, of course, during this time. But I almost did not do anything for almost a year, maybe 10 months.
Okay.
And of course, I also tried, you know, some mixing stuff. So it's not like I totally didn't do anything, but almost nothing for 10 months. And then we had decided to start playing with Truckfighters again. And I realized that this is just a few months away, and we're going to start touring with Truckfighters. And my record it's not done yet. Fuck, I have to finish this now. So then I decided to just fuck it, I'm going to sing myself. So I started to practice my vocal and write vocal melodies and lyrics and stuff. And in the summer of 2019, I spent a lot of time working and recording vocals. But I didn't finish in time for Truckfighters to reunite. Or then I didn't really have time or energy to finish it, because in August we went to North America, and then in October we did a big European tour. And then we did one weekend in November with Truckfighters, where we went to Spain for like 4 days, and then we went to Oslo, Norway on the 5th day. And so in Oslo, we hadn't slept anything because we went in the Madrid directly to the airport after the show. So I was like sleeping in the backstage room, so I didn't really pay attention or remember that the first band, the opening band, I had actually thought about it when I heard when they reached out to us in the spring and asked if they could be the support band. Then I thought like, this singer has a nice voice. It would be fun to hear him live. But I totally forgot about that, and I was like sleeping in the backstage room. And then they start playing, and I hear like into the backstage this fucking crazy voice, and it's like, damn, this sounds really good. I have to wake up now and listen to this. So I went down and watched the show, and I thought, this guy is a fucking rock and roll god, you know. He seems like a maniac. And then I had to talk to him after the show, and yeah, you know, as you say, one thing led to the other.
Yeah.
So we are as close as you can be without being gay, kind of now.
Yeah, I mean, the singing is really a special thing on the album. I mean, it's everything. But if you come from a Truckfighters background, as I do, I like the songs from, especially from Mania. Then it's something really different. This 90s voice, it's really cool. But it took me a moment to get really into it. But now it's working really well. I really got hooked with the first 2 tracks you released already.
I think that the voice, I mean, it's totally different from Mr. Also in Truckfighters.
Yes.
So it gets one more dimension of this band being a different thing than Truckfighters. And I don't think that the music is so similar too, to be honest. I think this is more like classic hard rock with progressive stuff, you know, progressive metal kind of almost. I mean, it's so much acoustic and soft things now too. But yeah, the singing really like defines that it's another kind of singing. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it's just totally different styles.
Yeah, that's the same as I think of it. It's in the first moment I was, wow, this voice, and then but after a few seconds I got really hooked to it. So it was a short period. I was kind of a bit confused, because it's normal that if you know something, you expect something maybe similar, like Truckfighters. But I have also to say that the guitar sound is different, and it looks like you developed developed a lot more stuff with also mixing it into the acoustic guitar. So how did you come up with that? How did that work, the process? Did you just jam and some new ideas got in your mind, or was it everything
I
on
cannot
purpose?
jam. I didn't have a band to jam with. No, but I actually jammed with myself on one song, Mighty Mind. There I just had this thing in my head that I wanted to play some nice guitar solo, but it was a bit boring to play just to my mind, you know, playing like some tone notes, and I played to my mind. So then I recorded the bass track just with my electric guitar, and then I took an octaver and pitched it down in the program in the computer. So I had like a bass track to jam to, and then that's what I actually kept. That guitar that I was jamming is what's on the album. So that was a bit fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's really cool that you can do everything by yourself. Have you used also, so you played also the bass on the album, and you have also played the guitar on the album, but the drums are
Mr. Peso.
Mr. Peso, and also, and the singing in the first try, you told me, or you talked about that you have learned or rehearsed some singing.
Listen how good I became.
Maybe you have to release one of those songs. Was it in a state where you already recorded something which you're going to use?
Everything was recorded. Everything was recorded except one song.
Oh, okay.
So Maurice is basically singing my stuff, but we had to rework it a bit, because his like premier part of his voice is much higher in the tone, in the pitch, than I am, because he can sing so much more, you know, higher. So we changed where in the harmony scale the lead vocal would be, and put it higher most of the times, sometimes even like an octave up, you know.
Okay.
And then I kept my voice too, because that's why it turns out to be a lot of harmonies on this record, because I kept a lot of my singing too. But then he put his lead vocal like above mine also, not above only in volume, but also in the pitch. So that was cool. So it became more, you know, 90s Alice in Chains vibe than it was intended from the start. Because when he sang on top of my voice, we thought, this sounds really cool. And then we kept both of them at a lot of places.
Yeah, that's cool. It's making...
I forgot the question now, actually.
What?
I forgot the question. I don't think I know if I answered it.
The question, I also forgot the question. It was kind of, are you happy with how it turned out, I think, and then we went on from there, so it's totally fine. I think you answered it. It will be interesting for everybody at least. So one other thing, yeah, the name. How did you came up with the name? Is it because you yourself had to discover what you're doing, or is it not related to the project? Did you just pick something that came to your mind?
No, it's very related to the project. It's both, for me, but also for, I think, for the listener. Like, what is this? Because it's Dango, but it's not the same as they might be used to, So it's more like, it's also because the music is, for me, it's really hard to define it. Like, what kind of music is it? Because the songs are really varied, diverse. It's one song is soft rock, one song is super heavy doom metal, one song is more like grunge, So I don't know. It's also like, what is this? Also from my perspective. So it's a bit mixed. But it's not just a random thing. That's the thought behind it. Like, it's what's going on. And also the artwork is Mr. Peso, his paintings, which is abstract art.
So the artwork on the album.
Yeah, I mean, I did the question mark and the logotype, of course, but yeah, the original artwork is Mr. Peso stuff.
Okay, really cool.
I mean, you can buy the original paintings if you want. With Swiss currency, it's not going to be that expensive.
Yeah, sure.
No, but also going back to, I remember now what you talked about. This thing that with the voice is different but you have expectations. I think that a lot of people who is big fans of Truckfighters, if they listen to this thinking that, this is going to be like Truckfighters, then they might be disappointed because it isn't Truckfighters. That's something that you have to be aware when you listen to it. It's different. And then if you kind of accept this thing that it's a new band, it's not going to be Truckfighters 2, then I think that everybody's going to think it's just as good or even better, right?
True. And I also think, I mean, also the Truckfighters albums they developed, they were not every time the same. Yeah, so, definitely. I mean, the latest album was really a masterpiece. The first ones were more easy from technical perspective, maybe also. And also, it sounds like everybody grew up now, because Truckfighters, it was if somebody asked you where the name is coming from, then it was this comic, and you just used the name because it was funny. And now there's really the name is really tied to what you're doing with the project, and also the vocals or the lyrics are deep thoughts, and it makes sense to listen to the text and think about everything.
Definitely more old and wise now than when I started Truckfighters.
Everybody,
and like you said, I mean, every song, every lyric has a very serious theme, and everything is really like big thought behind it, like the concept of the whole thing. So that's like, it's very personal, this record, to me. I mean, since I did all the lyrics except one song, and I did almost all the instruments I played, and I wrote everything, and I mixed everything, and I produced it, and I mastered it. And I even did the artwork. I mean, not the artwork, but I put everything together. I didn't paint the drawings that with Mr. Peso. It's probably the most personal thing I ever released in that way.
So you feel really proud now, also that you have got really good feedback from, I think it was a German music magazine or something, which wrote an article about it, which sounded really nice. Yeah, I don't remember the name.
I don't know German good enough to understand it perfectly, but I understood that it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. So they also talked about the deepness of the lyrics, and the acoustic guitar parts, and the variation in the whole thing. Yeah, it makes it really something special, I think. Which track do you like the most, and was maybe the most fun to produce?
Don't
also
ask me that. It's impossible to say.
It's a shitty question.
But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna choose the first song, Reality Line, because it's longest. So it's most of the good parts.
Okay.
You know. Most good in one song, 11 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like Truckfighters, Mastodon. Yeah, how did Peso find the way back? I mean, you had always contact. I mean, in Truckfighters, there was always a real big issue to have a drummer. I think you had 13 drummers or something like that in Truckfighters. Peso was one of them, but I think he's also an old friend of yours.
I mean, I know him since I was 20 or 19 or 20, something like that. So it's always like natural for me to want to have Peso. If there's talks about the drummer, then I always think that I'm gonna ask Peso. And this time he wanted to do it. Sometimes he has problems. He's a bit of troubled soul. But yeah, I managed to get him down to the studio and play some drums from another dimension for you.
And I remember the food cemetery where he was mentioned always as so slow. So did he speed up a little bit, or do you think that's going to be a problem once you're on tour?
He has not speed up. It's very slow.
Okay, shit. Yeah, maybe he has to watch out that he does not miss the ferry again, or was what? Yeah, something.
This can happen.
I imagine it was a really intense production when you all did so much stuff by your own. How did you record, or what was the process of you getting the guitar parts? Was it the same? Did you do it the same as everybody can see it in the Fossamentory? You're recording or you have an idea, you record the short part and you put everything together, or was it more writing in the process of the music and then playing it?
Well, since I didn't really have anyone to play with, I played with my mind. But I think at first I always kind of do the structure of a song where I play the riffs and get a feel for how it could be. I mean, in here, I usually just record like one guitar. And then I get the structure of the song. I mean, verse, chorus, part, and I put everything together. And then, yeah, I think I might have recorded like two like rough guitars before the drums on some songs, and some songs just one. And we also actually jammed this track called the Z, the 7th track. That's actually, I played the bass live with the drums, and then I put the guitar after. But that was the only song that we were jamming. And I had, of course, written the structure beforehand, but we still recorded it live. No, so I kind of recorded this album. Mostly I had an idea in my head, like for a song, kind of what I wanted to do, or I had a riff or a part of a riff or just an idea, and then I just played and took it from there. Let whatever was here go there, and if it was good, I kept it. So I kept everything.
Have you got already some feedback from today? I mean, the release was today. I think you already got a picture of how many people were interested in the pre-release and how many people listened to it today, maybe, and were excited.
I think I don't know. It's not so easy as I thought to get the attention of like existing Truckfighters fans. It's harder than I thought. Because I thought like the first singles would be like at least, I don't know, let's say that 20% of the Truckfighters fans would stream the songs at least. But I think that up until now we have maybe 5% or 4% amount. If you compare to how many people have listened during 1 month to Truckfighters and Enigma Experience, it's still like really, really, really big difference. So it's more tricky than I imagined to like reach and make people aware that this project is happening.
Yeah, to get the media attention, I guess, and yeah, because there is so much content everywhere, and a lot of releases, because a lot of people had a lot of time during that during that boring Corona time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't have to be. This project doesn't have to be instantly huge. It's okay if it grows a bit. I remember Truckfighters took years before we were a big name. So.
Yeah, you were a long time in the underground, in the real deep underground. I mean, I don't know if you can say, but that the stoner scene or that heavy rock scene is not that big. So you cannot play in stadiums, I think, which are filled with 13,000 people. But yeah, for Truckfighters, I remember the first concert in Winterthur. There were also, I think it was packed, but with 150 people in a small room. The sweat was dripping from the ceiling. Yeah, and how will it go on from this point now? Are you already writing some new stuff, or are you waiting until you can play a tour?
No, it's more like for me. I think I had to get this release past me mentally to actually seriously start working on new stuff, because it's hard to free this mental space to do new stuff, in my opinion. And also, I think Corona kind of also has killed a bit of mental motivation, because it's just so fucked up. But I have some ideas. I usually, when I get an idea, I just press record on my phone, and then I play, you know,
Okay.
without amplifier or anything, just get it in, because it's so hard to remember stuff in my age, you know. I have some ideas. I could probably do an album in 3 months again, you know, if I just wanted to. I already have probably half of what I would need as starting ideas. And I think if I would do another Enigma album, maybe I would also involve Maurice more from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be as much a Dango thing. It would be like more like a band thing.
But does this make you more excited, or is that a bit a downer?
Oh no, I don't care. It's fun. I think it's whatever. For me, it's not like I have to do things myself. That's just how it was this time. It's a bit like Foo Fighters, maybe. You know, he did the first record all by himself, or maybe the two first.
Yeah.
And then it was a band.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good. You know, I don't have any rules for how to make it good.
Yeah, that's nice. If you can keep it as simple as possible, or just follow the feeling.
Yes. Let the God of rock and roll show me the path.
Yeah, yeah, true. And you already you tried to plan a tour, kind of some shows here and there next year, but I guess it's impossible.
So hard. We started to look at, like, shall we do some shows? And at first we thought, like, let's do some small shows here in Sweden or Scandinavia with Enigma Experience now in November, December. But since our singer is from Norway, he cannot really go in and out, because then he gets 10 days of quarantine and all this shit. So we haven't even rehearsed.
It's a shitty situation. How are you going to proceed with the Truckfighters? Is this a problem that you're going to go on tour with both bands, maybe, or is the Truckfighters thing maybe fading out a little bit now in the future? Or?
I don't think it's a problem, because I mean the whole like starting point to this band was that we didn't do as much with Truckfighters. So I think that there's gonna be, at least I imagine that I'm gonna have time to do both bands, because we're not gonna be crazily active with Truckfighters in the future. I think just a little, a nice little activeness. We still want to do shows, so we don't want to do as much as in the past.
If I think about, if you say the nice little activeness, and I think about you jumping around the stage, then it's surely not that easy.
That's why I need this band too, you know.
Yeah,
so I can go for my nice activeness, and Mr. also can go for his nice activeness.
Is there not gonna be so much jumping around therefore in the new band on the stage?
I think it's more how the songs are. It's a much more parts are mellow and not like jumpy. And also I'm gonna sing a lot of harmonies, so I'm gonna stand by the microphone stand much more. You know.
No wireless headset and freaky.
No, but you know, when it's gonna be the right time to jump, I'm gonna jump.
I'm sure you will. You know, your guitar, I had to clean it first because there was all the skin of you, I think, and yeah, it was really. I would not say your guitar was dirty because that was surely, I would surely be wrong, but I could see that this guitar was heavily used on stage. Yeah,
of course. So you washed away the spirit of rock and roll.
Fuck! Now I feel bad. This is going to be an obvious problem. Sorry if it does not work any longer with that guitar for you. You can. It's my fault.
You have to just. It's just your own lose because you lost your chance to become a rock star when you just washed it like that.
I'm not going to sleep well this night. But yeah, I had no plan to make some band in the near future. For me, it's just a nice little hobby, and I'm glad that I can use something like that to figure new stuff out. So that's really cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, don't break it.
I won't. Yeah, we were kind of how Truckfighters are gonna be, or how your both projects are gonna stay in the future. And there is also your label, which is one thing that you, I think, are really passionate about. Is it a lot of work there at the moment, or do you feel also the Corona problem at the Fassorama label?
Yes, of course. I mean, in this kind of underground music scene, a big part of the physical sales is when bands go on the road and sell to the fans directly. And of course, we are affected because there's no bands selling any records right now. But we still have a nice, I would say, kind of a nice flow in the streaming, and people are buying from the web shop and supporting the bands in the scene, I think. So I'm kind of thankful to all the fans that they are still supporting, even though no bands are playing. And yeah, I mean, label-wise, we work as much as we have like motivation and time and power to do. And right now, we're releasing also not just Enigma Experience, but Witch Rider has an album coming out today. So it's a little bit to do with that. And then we actually don't have anything in the pipeline for the label. So all the bands, none of them has said like, we're gonna have an album soon. Yeah. So it's like, what are we, 8 bands or whatever we have, I think we have. And now it's strange because no band has told us like in half a year we want to release something.
And are you looking around for new bands, or do you just take one in when you see something by accident, or?
Both yes and no. I mean, we try to listen to everyone who sends us stuff. We try to listen to everything, and sometimes we miss a mail or we are too tired and forget it, but we really try.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that we're actively looking to sign bands, because it's really hard to build bands from scratch, you know. But if something shows up and we're like, whoa, this is so fucking good, then we sign it. If we can, at least we talk to them then. But to be honest, it's easier to get signed if you already have built a little fan base on your own. Because when it comes down to it, even a small label like us will really want to know that we can sell at least a few records. So it's not easy, I think. It's hard to get a good financial flow in releasing small underground bands. That's just how it is.
That's hard, yeah.
But we're always open to find new bands, but it takes a lot to be signed if it's like a new band. But if, let's say that, I don't know, John Garcia would call us and say, do you want to release my next record? Of course we would sign it. So yeah, It's just that it depends a bit where you are in the career, I guess. If we would have the option to sign some established band, I think we would do it without thinking too much.
And are you doing all the mixing or mastering also for all the bands which are on your label?
No. The only thing I did in recent years was Swan Valley Heights, where I mixed the record. But we offer our studio actually for our bands to use it for a certain amount of time for free, but then I'm not included in the studio use.
You don't want to be included, or
no, I don't want to, or I cannot spend 3 weeks for free, you know, with a band like that. I don't have the time. That's too much.
But you're doing. Did you have to get a regular job now, or are you working for the label and for Enigma and Truckfighters?
No, it's the music and the label. We kind of, so far we managed. We get a little bit of funding also from the government now in the corona, so it's maybe right now I think they pay like 30-40% of the salary, so which is actually really good.
Yeah, at least. I mean, we can do a call out. Everybody should buy records at Fossorama, or from all labels to support bands and labels, and also everybody should listen to Enigma Experience for sure.
Definitely.
And
I'm gonna show them this vinyl again. Look how good it sounds.
Yeah,
you can see the sound waves in this vinyl there.
And the art is really, it's a nice art. Really nice.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say about the shout out, now I remember. Also, all the bands which want to be on Fossorama Records should send their tapes to a mail address or to your Facebook page. Where should they?
It's best to send a mail to info@fossoramarecords.com.
info@fossoramarecords.com.
Or you can send bribes in physical mail if you want.
Okay, that's also cool. Oh man. Is it just an off-topic question now regarding Mr. Ozo? I mean, you're really close. You have this label together. Is he envy of you having now this other project, or how is that relation? Is it totally easy for him, or was it the kind of a bit, a hard issue at the beginning? Or?
I don't think so, but maybe you should ask him that instead of me. But...
Maybe I have to, yeah.
No, I think, I mean, also since he was the one who wanted to have the break, I think he kind of, I don't know why he would have a problem that I did something else then. And now it's, of course, it's going into when we also are active again with Truckfighters. But yeah, if he has a problem with it, I mean, it's his own fault in that sense.
So, but you have still have a good relationship together.
Yeah, definitely.
He is doing some coffee stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, it's really into coffee.
And he's also shipping worldwide. I think I received a package from the Truckfighter blend last year. I think I ordered some. Was a good coffee. Was strong.
Swedish style.
Yeah, it was matching the Truckfighter style. So can you tell us something about how you practice your guitar? Do you play every day, and do you have a special practice routine, or do you just play your own tracks from now and then?
I don't really have a practice routine, you know. I just go with the feeling, as with everything. But sometimes I kind of tell myself like, I really should learn this new Enigma song now, and then I try to learn it, you know. But usually when I play guitar, I just play, you know. Sometimes I play some or this song, sometimes I play soft songs or acoustic stuff and sing a bit. It's more about playing than what you play. If you just want to stay in shape, you know, it doesn't really matter what you play so much as that you play. So I try to play every day, but I haven't done it now the last days because I had so much to do with administrating the release now. But usually I play at least 20 minutes, between 20 minutes and 2 hours every day.
And
like you hear, it's very different. I don't have like a strict routine like I do.
And how did you evolve, or how did your guitar playing evolve during the time? I mean, you had for sure you had. Did you had some guitar lessons in the beginning, or are you self-taught guitar player?
The first years, I had like 20 minutes a week with a guitar teacher, since I was maybe 12 to 17, perhaps 16. And then I just figured I was good enough to play whatever I felt like without needing him anymore. But it was good to learn, you know, some basic stuff. And especially I think in the beginning when I had no idea what or how to do. And then my teacher was like following the book first. He tried like, okay, we're going to teach you notes. That's what I'm supposed to do, you know. He didn't say it straight out, but that's how it was. He was supposed to teach me after this kind of how this is how you teach. And then after a few weeks or month or whatever, I hadn't learned anything because it was so boring. And then he just told me one day like, fuck it, just tell me a song you like and I'm gonna show you how to play it. And then I started to think that guitar is fun because now I can play. Then I learned to play like some Nirvana tracks or whatever it was I really wanted to play then, like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something. And then I kind of really got like, wow, I can play Smells Like Teen Spirit. I was like, whoa, this is a new universe opening for me. So I think since then I kind of learned more by myself than at those lessons, but it was still nice to go there once in a while, I would say.
And how did you evolve, or did you develop the sound for the guitar? I mean, it's surely not the same sound now as in Truckfighters, but from I think then you started around with some grunge from Nirvana, and then you got interested in some heavier stuff, and you've just experimented, or how did you develop your?
I mean,
your
when I was young, I only listened to grunge, and I only played grunge. And then my first pedal was a Boss DS1 distortion, like the famous Nirvana distortion pedal. And then when I met Mr. Oso and we started Truckfighters, and he was like, I think you should use my Big Muff. This is a cool guitar sound. And then I was totally hooked, like, whoa, this sounds so fat, instantly, you know. And I started to experiment with a bit with amplifiers and cabinets and stuff like that. But I kind of quickly found a sound that I liked and just, you know, used it for a long time.
So then you kind of figured it out at some point, and you were happy with the sound, and you did not try out a lot different stuff. But now for Enigma, it changed a bit, or?
For Enigma, I intentionally used. I recorded with Truckfighters. I recorded almost everything with my Rickenbacker over here. Wait.
Ooh, now the guitars are showing up. It's gonna be the cool part now for everybody.
This is my second guitar. The first guitar I built myself, actually.
Okay.
This one, I used this in Truckfighters for live also, even though it's like a fucking relic for maybe 6 years.
You used that also on stage?
Yeah, I was jumping around with this thing that's worth like 3,000-4,000 euros. So that's funny. And then even though I started playing Gibson, I always recorded with this guitar anyway, because it's kind of, you know, it's a bit like my old favorite guitar. But for this Enigma album, then I was like, no, I'm going to record with my Gibsons to get something's going to be different than Truckfighters, you know. Then, yeah, I can take one of them down too. Looks like this, or this could also be blue or green or black or red, whatever. Those are the colors I have. So that's the one I used, like I think almost all the guitar tracks are recorded with this kind of guitar on Enigma. And I intentionally also had a little bit different setting, I think, on the amp, with a bit more like high mid range and little bit less like pushed tube. So it's a little bit more like metal vibe of the fuzz, I guess, because I wanted it to be not Truckfighters, but something else. But still Dango.
And still Big Muff.
Yeah.
And no other special pedal or something. That's cool. So it's kind of the same, but it's different.
It's the same, but I just tweaked a little bit different to get it more like angry, I guess.
Yeah, true. It's more, it's a bit cleaner also, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
And if you, do you have some advice for beginner guitar players or for young people who want to get into playing guitar and saw you maybe on stage or on videos? Do you have any, I mean, you have a really special setup. Maybe you can also talk about, because everybody's always wondering about your strings and about your tuning.
Well, ever since I started playing, for some reason, I don't really barely remember, I kind of tuned very early half step down because I think it felt nicer to play the guitar when it was down tuned half a step. And then the Truckfighters will drop as well, of course. Then I'm down to C sharp, and C sharp became my like go-to key, the tuning I usually use. And then on this record with Enigma, there's a few different keys, but it's still C sharp is the main thing.
So we have maybe to say C sharp, drop C sharp is everything is a half step down, and the low E is 1.5 step down.
No, everything is 1/2 step down, and the low is 1/2.
Yeah.
So that's like the starting point, and then I don't always play all the songs in that key just because of that. And I think in my mind, my secret place, I tuned it 1/2 up, or was it down? I don't remember, but that's different. Also the tuning of the guitar. But strings, I don't know. I'm not so nerdy about strings. I use Dunlop strings the past years.
But really
before
thick
that,
ones.
56 is my thickest, and 10 is the thinnest. But I have 4, what do you call it, wounded strings, and then I jump a bit to 2 soft strings. Let's see if I have any strings I can place. No, there. This is what I use. Now they're going to be happy that I'm showcasing their strings, since I also get them for free. I'm supposed to do that.
Okay, that's good.
This is my gauge. Can you see it?
Yes, it's perfect, sharp. So everybody can take the screenshot and buy the strings so they can make the same sound.
Yep, and then they should send an email to Dunlop like Mr. Dango from Truckfighters and Enigma Experience got into playing your strings.
That's important, so
I'm
that you will get.
I'm send him a link of this interview, I think.
What?
I'm gonna send the Dunlop team a link to this interview.
You should. Despite my interview skills are really bad, this is the first one I do ever. I do it not in my native language, and I'm really freaking out if this recording stuff is working. So we will see how it will turn out. I hope I don't have to call you again this weekend to do everything again.
No, it's good. But string wise, I'm not so nerdy. I used the Dario before because I thought that it didn't break so often, and this don't break too. That's good. I used what's that called, Ernie Ball, for a while, but I thought they broke once in a while, so I stopped using them. That's about my experience from strings. But I mean, my advice to young people playing is that don't really think so much about how others do. Just use your ears and your mind, and if you like it, that's how it should be. It doesn't matter what Dango does or what James Hetfield does or anyone. Because if you play and you do your way and you have your way of playing in your settings and you like it, then that's good. So don't worry too much about how it should be. Just do something.
If you could use a time traveling machine and go back to your younger self, what would you tell yourself guitar-wise? Would you tell some tips to yourself, or what would you say to you?
Well, I would probably tell myself that I'm gonna be a really fucking good guitar player in a few years. So you don't have to be so insecure about your skills. No, but that's one thing with people. I think it's common if you do a lot of, if you're self-taught in things. I think it's common that it takes a while before you understand that you're actually good, or you're afraid to say that you're good, because somewhere you're like, nah, I just learned myself. I don't know. So that's, I also had that a little for a while. Like, I didn't know if I was a good guitar player or not. That's also actually something nice with music, because it doesn't really matter if you're good or bad, because music is not about technically being good or bad. It's about feeling, and also it's very subjective. You know, if someone thinks something is good and someone else thinks it's really bad, so nothing is wrong and nothing is right, actually.
So the message would be just be happy with what you're doing, and try to figure out what you really like, and keep playing, keep doing it. Yeah. Keep practicing. Yeah. And do you know, or if somebody really wants to do Dango style guitar playing, are there any shortcuts you could tell to get kind of the sound right, or to play? Or do you have any special any special guitar moves you can tell?
Yeah, sure. Like this.
Okay.
No, but my advice is if you buy like a fat fuzz pedal, you're gonna have to learn to control it, and you have to be really careful that you play only on the strings that you want to sound. You don't really touch the other strings, because then it can be like everywhere. So it's about being precise in how you play too. It's not just getting this pedal and everything is solved. You know, you have to kind of control the beast. So maybe you can start even playing just one tone, all like this kind of stuff, and it actually sounds good then when you have a nice fuzzy pedal. Yeah, that's kind of a tip, I think.
The pro tip from Dango. Okay. Are there guitar-wise? I mean, I'm wondering. I already asked you. You did a tutorial on Lone Wolf.
Yeah.
And you will maybe do one on the Zone also.
Yeah, I'm going to do more. It's just that I had a bit too many things to do lately. But I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm even going to have time to do it next week. We'll see.
Which track from the new album is the hardest to play for you?
Probably in my mind, My Secret Place, because it's basically improvisation, a lot of it on the acoustic. So I'm going to have to like memorize stuff, and it's a lot to remember. That's really difficult. And also in the heavy part, it's a lot of different, what do you call it? Time signatures. So it's difficult too, you have to like stay focused.
And
yeah.
How are you going?
That's difficult. The Zone is not so easy too, actually, because it's also a lot of different parts to remember. So
I'm really curious about the beginning of the Zone, how you are doing this. How do you say it? Maybe overlapping or something in the beginning of the song. It sounds really crazy to me.
And which part do you mean?
Really the beginning, the first 10-20 seconds.
Okay, I don't.
You know what I mean?
No,
wait
sure. I don't.
Maybe it's just
a difficult song.
Because I'm not. I'm a very bad guitar player, and I have no clue how it works. And maybe it's just me who does not know how. I think somebody should hear that, but it's basically just this riff.
Yeah, that's not so difficult, but it's fast. I mean, I can show you if you want.
Yeah, if you want, would be nice. So we have a guitar move on video. Then yes. for sure, my video is gonna crash if I stop the recording here.
Exclusive. So C sharp. Yeah, it's easy. When you know it is easy.
So now
it's just fast, you know. It's just
yeah, it's really fast.
It's fast. It's that's easy. Start slow and then practice your speed.
I mean, I'm sure I'm not getting it right, but.
Oh, my guitar.
Your guitar. I told you I'm at home. So now I have to tell it. Yeah, you because of that Corona shit we had in March at the gaswork, you had to leave your stuff here because you had to book new tickets to Sweden, I guess. Yeah, you were flying directly and not to the next venue, so it would be really expensive to take the gear back. And we offered for sure to store it, and you were nice, really nice to tell me that I can try to use your guitar, since then I have it right next to my bed. But no, it's not. I'm in
and we also thought we would come back and play, not so much later, actually, like a few months later instead of forever, you know.
Well, you were. Something like this?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't see it?
Yeah, that's right. I hear it. Now you know it. I told you it was easy.
Yeah, man. I thought it that has to be really nuts and really difficult, but it proves that I have really no clue of everything, and I can only play on this guitar because it's your one with the sweat of the rock gods on it.
Yes, exactly. Touched by the prophet.
Touched by the prophet. Now I have to put it back. So now we have everything on touch ready in our radio studio, as you can see here in the background, just behind the green curtain. Really nice. Thank you for showing me that. I hope everybody else can also get it together. I'm sure, because when I can do it, everybody else for sure can also do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, with anything I think we went mostly through all the questions I had.
Nice.
Do you want to speak? Do you have anything else on your mind?
I think you have asked everything I can think about.
That's cool.
I think your listeners is going to be really happy with the information they will receive.
I hope so. I hope it's interesting, and I hope it's not boring. That we have I asked.
But it's the Dango. You know, it cannot be boring when.
Yeah,
Dango is
I really try to do not disrupt you, so that everybody's gonna be happy with me talking not much and you talking a lot. Yeah. So do you have a lot of interviews to do like this now, or I cannot think about that I'm the only one who is asking you for an interview? Are you busy these days?
It's not as much as the last Truckfighters release, obviously, because this is more unknown, but I did maybe 10, 15 interviews the past days, something like that. It's okay, it's not bad, but it's not insane, you know. I have one tomorrow morning, a live interview with USA, so it's like really early in the morning for me.
Oh, shit. I'm sure they will have the better questions than me.
I'm gonna be so tired. I'm gonna like wake up and then interview.
Will you manage that you do not oversleep it, or how do you say that that you
Yeah,
wake
I
up
have
in
to
time?
set the alarm clock. It's gonna be like 5 in the morning for me. So
Oh, shit. How are your neighbors? No noise complaints because you took your amps home. I guess you
no.
have to practice really loud.
Yeah, no. The thing is, I don't play extremely loud. I have, and I also have really nice walls between the houses here. I think
No, but
because I never hear anything from my neighbors too, and no one has ever complained to me. And also my amps are good in the sense because this I have Mesa Boogie Lone Star they're called, and one of the nice feature is that you have a wattage selector, so I can put them in 10 watts mode for home, and then it still sounds cranked even though it's not really loud. So I had 10, 25, no 10, 15, 100 watt mode, and then I have a switch to half
okay.
those watts as well. So it's like I can have 5 watts or 25 watts as well.
Also, it's not so loud, but you still have the same effects on it then. Okay.
Yeah, nice sound, even though it's not insanely loud.
Yeah, I'm sure your neighbors are glad for that.
Yes.
How do you survive this boredom at the moment? What do you do? Have you started the Twitch channel like everybody else and started to stream gaming videos, or?
No, I was more active in the spring in the beginning, and then I did some guitar videos and posted. Now I'm just bored, like whatever.
If the feedback from those guitar videos, they have to be really cool. I mean, they have to be great. Everybody will be really
Yeah, people
amazed.
were happy that I did stuff. So I should do more things. Maybe now when the album is out, I can free some, like I said, mental space to do some other things.
It would
That would be
surely
fun.
be nice to see some stuff. And you're also very transparent. You do not hide anything from the people. That's also something I have to say. I mean, there are lots of bands which I think are not maybe active keeping it a secret, but are also not showing on purpose how it's be done. I don't know why they do that. Maybe they are
I
afraid
just,
of this.
I think it's fun if people wants to play our songs, even if it's Truckfighters or Enigma Experience or whatever. It's just cool. So why not? I don't feel like I'm not feeling like I'm a competitor to other guitar players. Like, no, he's gonna be just as good as me. Who cares? So no, that's just fun.
That's cool. That's really nice. I saw that maybe was it Lowrider? I am not. Oh no, the Heavy Eyes. I think from the USA. They mentioned somewhere something that they are not for surely not gonna tell anybody how they are making their sound. But I'm not sure if that's right. Maybe I got something wrong. That's also possible. I
I
don't want
also
to.
heard it. I don't know. I didn't see it myself, but someone told me that like Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, like, no, I'm not gonna show anyone my setup. I worked like my ass off to get my sound, and I don't want anyone else to have it.
Do you
But
know those? Do you know those videos? The guitar moves videos with Matt Sweeney.
no.
Josh Homme was on one of those are really cool. I will send you the link then later. And then there he talked also about that. And then he told Sweeney in that interview that he was like that, like you described it. He didn't want to tell anybody about any moves and how he did it because he worked so long to get it right. But in this interview, he showed a lot of his special you can say moves, maybe a bit another pentatonic style, or how he skips tones to make this really special Queens of the Stone Age sound also.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just when even if you show something about it, show it. Maybe you're gonna like get more fans instead because they play it for someone else. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't because you're still like the original, and it's
Nobody's
also in the end it's always down to the person who plays it. So
nobody's gonna take it away from you, yeah. And I mean, it's the same as with skateboarding. Everybody who skates is supporting the skate community and also the skate industry, and it's the same with music. If people get interested, then they are going to go to the concerts, they are going to be interested in the bands and the people behind it, and they are going to buy the merch and listen to the albums.
yeah.
So let's end it here, I think.
Yes, time to say good night to my son soon.
Okay.
No, not really yet, but in a while.
It was really nice to have you on the show, and many thanks for the post.
It was nice to talk to you again, Mr. Stefan.
Yeah, thanks, man. Nice to talk to you too.
What's your artist name then?
My?
Yeah, your old artist name. When you have a Dango guitar, what's gonna be you, like Mr. S something?
Mr. S.O.
Mr. S.O.
I have no name. Not figured it out yet. Maybe you come up with, if you come up with anything, just tell me. I will take
Mr. S.O. is good. S.O. That's you.
But it's only 2 letters then, or ESO.
ESSO then, like the oil company.
ESO. No, that's not good. Oh, I don't like the oil company. Oh my God. I'm sure I will not need an artist name in the near future. Mr.
Swiss.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not identify that much with my country. I think everybody's in the same planet.
Yeah, that's true. I think borders are stupid, to be honest.
Still?
Borders are stupid.
Borders are stupid, yeah. True. It makes no sense to think in small spaces on the planet if it's about the big ecosystem where we all live in. So
especially nowadays, with environmental stuff, like people have to come together and not put up walls and borders and argue. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's strange times. I hope it will get better, like everybody thinks. I'm sure it will at some point, because it has to. Otherwise, we will just fade out of the planet at some point, I think. Also, the whole corporate shit makes me sometimes a bit nervous. And I hope that lots of people are starting to doing stuff also maybe because they want to, if they have the energy and maybe the money. It's not so easy to work volunteer for everybody, because lots of people do have to support their families or get money for their food.
In our part of the world, especially Switzerland, Norway, Sweden, most people make more money than they need to make, and most people are stressed because they work too much. And it's so stupid. They can just work less, get a little bit less money. Then some people who are unemployed somewhere in the world can get work instead, and it's going to help everyone. And instead, people are piling up money, buying useless things, and not enjoying life because they work so much. That's my 50 cents.
They can start making bands or helping at venues or support something interesting, which is not possible, and which is otherwise not possible anymore, because the working force expenses are just too high to do a lot of fun stuff. That's especially a problem in our region regarding this, the culture venues and everything. As
it's so hard if you see Switzerland, Sweden, Norway too, for that side. But Norway has more like government support. But in Sweden, if you want to have a concert or like a bar, I think, then you also have to offer food, and it costs a lot to have a kitchen that's approved by the authorities. And if you want to have a show, you have to have these permits, and it's so difficult to do small scale things and underground stuff.
True, that's also a big problem here. Maybe we have not the regulation that we need to have a kitchen, or we do not have to serve food at concert venues. But there are also a lot of regulations, and I mean, we find a way always, and it's a good setup where we are in Winterthur right now. Thank you for the city also to help out the cultural venues also in that difficult time. Everybody can need it, and nobody has to forget that. We do not have to forget that all the people who are working volunteer somewhere are making the life more fun for everybody else, because they are helping to produce fun stuff as like Enigma Experience concerts and Truckfighter concerts and radio shows, and
that people need some culture. That's why we live. We don't live to work. That's
true. Maybe we have to talk about those things in another. We should do it at some point again. If you get bored, let me know.
In 3 months,
we'll set it up and we will do a Dango podcast for
Dango 2, political discussions.
Political discussions with Dango.
Yeah,
And
and
then
some guitar solos in the middle.
I will try to get my interviewer skills better, and then maybe I'm a bit better prepared, and the questions will also be better.
All right, I guess
Hey,
then.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you for today.